So one of the tropes that I see around a lot is basically like, why can't we just throw our garbage into the sun? So we have issues with like garbage piling up and everything, and we have issues with like nuclear bombs all over the place. And one of the ideas that is thrown around every once in a while is just like, why don't we just take that stuff and throw it into the sun? Just throw it right into the sun. It burns up. All of our garbage is gone. Everything is just taken care of. So I thought that I would go through sort of the math of this and talk about how hard this actually is. Getting to the sun is really hard. We orbit the sun. And so in order to get to the sun, we actually have to change our orbit so we get closer to the sun. So the steps to get to the sun. First, we have to escape Earth's gravity. And as we talked about in our escape velocity lesson, that is 11,200 meters per second, or 11.2 kilometers per second. And then once we are away from the Earth, we're actually still orbiting the sun. And we're going around the sun with about 30 kilometers per second velocity. So in order to get to the sun, we have to do something to make it so we can get closer to the sun. And we do that using a Hohmann transfer. So from the Earth, we have to go from the 30 kilometers per second, we have to slow down to get closer to the sun. And so we can actually do the math of that. And then once we're actually close to the sun, if we get close enough, the sun is so hot that things will burn up. We don't actually have to plunge like head on into the sun. We get to just get close enough to the sun and it burns up. A Hohmann transfer to get to the sun is not that easy though. And the reason for that is because the apogee is about 1 AU, so that is the distance from the sun to the Earth, which is about 150 million kilometers. And the perigee, you want that to be very close to the sun because you want it to burn up, which we'll call something like 700,000 kilometers. And you can see that 150 million kilometers is pretty different than 700,000 kilometers. They're very different. And so in order to actually go onto that Hohmann transfer, if you do the math, you have to slow down to about 2.9 kilometers per second. We're already going about 30 kilometers per second, so we have to slow down by 27 kilometers per second, which is a lot. So we escape Earth with 11.2 kilometers per second. And then we have to slow down by 27 kilometers per second. So in order to get there, what we have to do is we have to escape Earth. And then we're orbiting the sun at that point. And then we have to get on a Hohmann transfer going about 2.9 kilometers per second, which is a delta V of about 27.1 kilometers per second. Now, if we look at our largest rocket that we've ever made, the Saturn V, it provides around 18 kilometers per second, which is pretty different than 27 kilometers per second. And so that rocket would not actually even be able to get us to the sun. Getting to the sun is very, very, very hard. It's inconceivable that we could actually do this. So what have we done, though? The Parker Solar Probe is a NASA mission that basically is going as close to the sun as we possibly can. It's going about 10 solar radii. What we talked about was going to 2 solar radii where you'd actually burn up in the atmosphere. This is going to 10 solar radii, so still pretty far away from the sun. But in order to actually do that, we couldn't just go on a Hohmann transfer to get there. We actually went out to Jupiter and did a slingshot around Jupiter to get us close to the sun. We had to use a lot of orbital tricks to actually get us this close. We couldn't do that maneuver just to get us close to the sun using a Hohmann transfer. We needed to do something radically different than that. So in summary, we can't just throw our garbage into the sun or our nuclear bombs or whatever. It's impossible for us to do because no satellites have the delta V required to actually do that.